The lie buried in the earth. What if everything you were taught about ancient history was wrong? Not slightly wrong. Not missing a few details. But fundamentally, catastrophically wrong. What if human civilization did not slowly rise from caves and mud huts, but instead fell from something far greater? Across the earth, buried beneath deserts, jungles, oceans, and mountains, archaeologists are finding proof that the ancient world was far more advanced, organized, and powerful than modern textbooks admit. Temples older than agriculture. Machines older than modern science. Cities swallowed by the sea. Knowledge that should not have existed. And every time one of these discoveries is uncovered, history is forced to do the one thing it hates most. Change. Because the ground beneath your feet is not just dirt and rock. It is a graveyard of forgotten civilizations. And their story is beginning to surface. Göbekli Tepe, the first temple of humanity. High in the rolling hills of southeastern Turkey lies a site that should not exist. A place that rewrote the origin of civilization. Its name is Göbekli Tepe. For thousands of years, this hill sat quietly, covered in soil and grass. Farmers walked over it. Animals grazed on it. No one suspected that beneath their feet was the oldest monumental structure ever built by human hands. In 1994, a German archaeologist named Klaus Schmidt began digging here. What he uncovered stunned the world. Massive stone pillars. Perfectly carved. Arranged in enormous circles. Some of these stones weigh over 20 tons. Some stand more than 18 feet tall. They are decorated with carved animals, lions, snakes, vultures, foxes, scorpions, symbols of a forgotten belief system. And the age of these stones? 11,600 years old. That means Göbekli Tepe was built before farming, before pottery, before metal tools, before written language. According to everything historians believed, the people of that time were simple hunter-gatherers. Yet here they were. Building temples. The discovery that destroyed the history books. Before Göbekli Tepe, archaeology followed a simple timeline. Humans hunted animals. Then learned agriculture. Then formed villages. Then created religion. Then built temples. Göbekli Tepe proved this timeline was backwards. Because you cannot build something like this without organized labor, leadership, long-term planning, religious belief, social hierarchy. Which means religion did not come from civilization. Civilization came from religion. People gathered not to eat, but to worship. And in order to support those who built the temples, they invented agriculture. Göbekli Tepe is not just a site. It is the birthplace of civilization itself. A lost world before history. This discovery tells us something terrifying and incredible at the same time. It tells us that thousands of years before the first cities, before Egypt, before Sumer, before writing, there already existed organized, intelligent, spiritually complex societies. And we lost them. Something happened around 10,000 BCE. A massive climate shift. The end of the Ice Age. Floods. Rising oceans. Environmental chaos. Entire civilizations were wiped away. Göbekli Tepe may be one of the last surviving monuments of a forgotten world. Why was Göbekli Tepe buried? There is one detail about Göbekli Tepe that puzzles archaeologists to this day. The people who built it, buried it. They did not destroy it. They did not abandon it. They carefully filled the entire site with soil, stone, and rubble, sealing it underground. Why would anyone bury their most sacred place? Some believe they were hiding it from invaders. Others think it was part of a ritual. Some suggest they were preserving it for the future. Whatever the reason, their decision allowed this ancient knowledge to survive 11,000 years. And when it resurfaced, it shattered history. The doorway to a forgotten age. Göbekli Tepe is not an isolated mystery. It is a doorway. A sign that the ancient world was far older, far more advanced, and far more complex than we ever imagined. And if a temple this powerful existed before farming, what else was there? Cities? Science? Astronomy? Technology? The deeper we dig, the clearer it becomes. We are not the first advanced civilization. We are the survivors of many. Troy. The lost city that proved legends were real ****. For more than 2,000 years, the city of Troy was believed to be nothing more than a story. A beautiful story. A dramatic story. A tragic story. But still, just a story. The ancient Greek poet Homer wrote about Troy in the Iliad, a tale of heroes, gods, and a legendary war that lasted 10 long years. Most scholars believed it was nothing more than mythology, a poetic invention created to entertain. There was no archaeological proof. No ruins. No walls. No weapons. No evidence. So the world dismissed Troy as fantasy. Until one man refused to accept that. The man who dug up a myth. In the 1800s, a self-taught archaeologist named Heinrich Schliemann became obsessed with the idea that Troy was real. Everyone told him he was chasing a fairy tale. But Schliemann believed something revolutionary. Ancient legends were not fiction. They were memory. In 1870, he traveled to a hill called Hazarlik in modern-day Turkey and began digging. And what he found changed history forever. Layer by layer. Wall by wall. City after city. Schliemann uncovered the remains of not one Troy, but 9. 9 different cities, built on top of each other over thousands of years. And one of them showed clear evidence of a massive war. Burned buildings. Broken weapons. Fallen walls. Human remains. Troy was not a myth. It was real. Why Troy shocked the world. The discovery of Troy did more than confirm one ancient story. It changed how humanity viewed the past. Because if Troy was real, what about other ancient legends? Atlantis? The Tower of Babel? Biblical cities? Lost empires? Troy proved that ancient writers were not inventing fantasy. They were recording history, in poetic form. And archaeology had just cracked open a door that could never be closed again. The pyramids of Egypt. The technology that should not exist ****. If there is one ancient structure that has baffled the world for thousands of years, it is the Great Pyramid of Giza. Built over 4,500 years ago, this monument consists of 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing up to 80 tons. Placed with near-perfect precision. The pyramid is aligned with the cardinal directions so accurately that modern instruments still struggle to measure the deviation. And here is the most disturbing part. The Great Pyramid is not just a tomb. It is a machine. Its internal shafts align with specific stars. Its dimensions encode mathematical constants like pi and phi. Its design reflects advanced knowledge of Earth and astronomy. This was not primitive architecture. This was engineering genius. Yet Egypt had no iron tools. No wheels. No cranes. How did they do it? Even today, engineers admit they could not replicate the Great Pyramid with the same precision. Even using modern technology. The pyramids reveal something terrifying. Ancient Egypt possessed knowledge that we do not fully understand. The Antikythera mechanism. The world's first computer ****. In 1901, Greek divers exploring a shipwreck made a discovery that stunned science. A corroded piece of metal filled with gears. At first, it looked like nothing. Then scientists X-rayed it. And what they saw was impossible. The object was a mechanical computer built over 2,000 years ago. The Antikythera mechanism could predict solar eclipses, track planetary motion, calculate astronomical cycles. It was as complex as an 18th-century clock. But it was built in ancient Greece. This discovery destroyed the idea that advanced technology was modern. The ancient world was far more sophisticated than anyone had imagined. The Dead Sea Scrolls. The past speaks ***. In 1947, a shepherd boy threw a stone into a cave and heard a jar shatter. Inside were ancient scrolls. They turned out to be the oldest copies of the Bible ever found, more than 2,000 years old. When scholars compared them to modern Bibles, they were shocked. The text was almost identical. This meant ancient humans preserved knowledge with astonishing accuracy. The past was not lost. It was waiting. The pattern emerges. From Troy to Egypt to ancient Greece to the deserts of Israel, a clear pattern is forming. The ancient world was not simple. It was organized, intelligent, technologically skilled, spiritually complex. And we are only beginning to rediscover what they knew. Because the greatest discoveries are still buried. And in the next chapter, we will explore entire civilizations that vanished beneath the sea. Civilizations that history forgot. The sunken cities. Civilizations beneath the ocean ***. For thousands of years, humanity believed the oceans were empty of history. That everything important happened on land. That idea is wrong. Modern sonar and satellite technology has revealed something shocking beneath the waves. Entire cities. Stone roads. Foundations. Walls. Harbors. Civilizations that existed before the last ice age, now lying on the ocean floor. Off the coast of India, scientists discovered a vast underwater city in the Gulf of Cambay. The ruins stretch for miles and are estimated to be more than 9,000 years old. That makes them older than Egypt, Mesopotamia, Sumer. Which means advanced societies existed before recorded history. They were destroyed by rising sea levels when the Ice Age ended. The world flooded. And civilizations drowned. Dvarka. The city of the gods ***. Ancient Hindu texts describe a golden city called Dvarka, built by the god Krishna. For centuries, it was believed to be a myth. Until divers found massive stone structures beneath the sea off the coast of India. Walls. Stairways. Roads. Anchors. This was a city. A real one. And it had sunk into the ocean. Dvarka proved that ancient legends were not fantasy, they were memory. Mohenjo-Daro. The lost high-tech city ***. In Pakistan lies the ruins of Mohenjo-Daro, a 4,500-year-old city of the Indus Valley civilization. What shocked archaeologists was not its age. It was its design. Mohenjo-Daro had indoor plumbing, sewer systems, grid-based streets, public baths, standardized brick sizes. This was modern city planning, in the ancient world. But something mysterious happened here. Skeletons were found lying in the streets, as if the people died suddenly. Some buildings show signs of extreme heat. The city was abandoned almost overnight. No one knows why. The Nazca lines. Messages to the sky ***. In the deserts of Peru are enormous drawings carved into the ground. Birds. Spiders. Geometric shapes. They are so large they can only be seen from the air. Yet they were created over 1,500 years ago. The Nazca had no aircraft. So why make art for the sky? Some believe these were messages to the gods. Others think they were astronomical markers. Whatever their purpose, they reveal advanced planning, mathematics, and surveying. This was not simple art. It was cosmic communication. The forgotten world. From underwater cities to high-tech ancient civilizations, one truth becomes clear. Our ancestors were not primitive. They were brilliant. And much of their world was lost. Buried. Sunken. Erased. But now, it is being found. Forbidden artifacts. Objects that should not exist ***. All around the world, archaeologists have uncovered objects that simply do not fit the official timeline of human history. They are called out-of-place artifacts, objects that appear to be far more advanced than the era they were supposedly made in. And some of them are so disturbing that museums refuse to display them. One of the most famous is the Baghdad Battery. Discovered in Iraq, it is a clay jar containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod. When scientists recreated it, they discovered something shocking. It produces electricity. This object is nearly 2,000 years old. Why did ancient people have batteries? Another forbidden artifact is the Nimrud lens, a perfectly shaped crystal lens discovered in ancient Assyria. It can magnify images and possibly focus sunlight. Was it used as a telescope? Or something more? These objects suggest ancient civilizations had technology far beyond what we believed. The Sacsayhuaman walls. Stone that modern machines cannot replicate ***. High in the Andes Mountains of Peru stands a fortress called Sacsayhuaman. Its walls are made of stones weighing over 100 tons. They fit together so perfectly that not even a razor blade can slip between them. The Inca had no iron tools. No wheels. No modern machinery. Yet they moved and shaped these stones with unbelievable precision. Some of the blocks are cut at impossible angles. No modern construction company could recreate it today. This is ancient engineering at a level we still do not understand. The Vimanas. Ancient flying machines ***. Ancient Indian texts describe Vimanas, flying vehicles used by gods and kings. For centuries, these were believed to be mythology. But some ancient Sanskrit manuscripts describe their construction in technical detail. They mention mercury engines, rotating metal structures, vertical flight, long-distance travel. Were these just stories? Or were they memories of lost technology? No one knows. But the descriptions are far too detailed to be ignored. The pattern continues. Across the world, a disturbing pattern emerges. The deeper we dig, the more advanced the ancient world becomes. We are not discovering the beginning of civilization. We are discovering the remains of something that was lost. And the truth is still buried. The greatest discovery never taught. What if the biggest secret in human history is not that civilizations rose, but that they fell, and were erased? Across every continent, there are stories of a golden age. An era when humanity was more advanced, more connected, and more powerful than we are today. The Greeks called it the Age of the Gods. The Indians called it the Satya Yuga. The Egyptians called it Zep Tepi, the first time. These stories are not mythology. They are memories. A world before the flood. Every ancient culture speaks of a global disaster. The Bible tells of Noah. The Sumerians tell of Ziusudra. The Hindus tell of Manu. The Mayans tell of a sky-falling flood. All of them describe rising oceans, fire from the sky, the collapse of civilization. And now, modern geology confirms something shocking. Around 12,000 years ago, Earth was struck by a massive cosmic event. Ice melted. Sea levels rose. Entire continents were swallowed. Human history was reset. The lost Ice Age civilization. Under today's oceans lie the ruins of a forgotten world. Sonar scans reveal roads, buildings, ports, walls. These structures are not natural. They were built when sea levels were hundreds of feet lower. That means they were constructed before the end of the Ice Age. Mainstream history says civilization began 6,000 years ago. But the evidence says otherwise. Civilization may be at least 15,000 years old. Göbekli Tepe. The site that shattered history ****. In Turkey, archaeologists uncovered a temple older than the pyramids. Göbekli Tepe is 12,000 years old. It was built before farming, before pottery, before cities. Yet it contains massive carved stone pillars, advanced geometry, complex symbolism. How could hunter-gatherers build this? They couldn't. Someone else was here before them. The final truth emerges. We are not the first civilization. We are the latest. And the ruins of the ancient world are still calling to us. Waiting to be remembered.